Hey guys, today I will be making a video playing the Fidelity Chess Challenger from, I believe, 1980. It might be 1982. Feel free to correct me if I have the year wrong. It's over here, the Fidelity Voice Sensory Chess Challenger. Very fun little chess computer. I am going to be manually inputting the moves on the computer and transferring them over here so it's easier for you guys to see what's going on. And I will be playing it on level 2. That is a low level. Still won't be playing complete garbage. But I tried to film this video on level 3, and that video ended up being an hour long, so I decided not to post it because nobody would watch it. That being said, I will have an analysis of this game available on chess.com and Lichess. I will go ahead and leave a link to that in the description and pinned comment for both. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say out of the way, and I'll get the game started. I'll probably start with d4. Okay, and it wants to play knight f6. It's going for King's Indian. All good. So, there's a few moves in this position. I will be talking through my thought process. I normally play c4, and that is what I'm going to play. Just with the idea to take control of the central squares with these two pawns. I cannot play e4 to do so because, you know, there's a knight that would take the pawn, and that would be a big oopsie. c5. Okay. It's kind of surprising that a computer from 1982 is playing c5. That's interesting. I think I'll just push. No need to double my pawns. Oh. Okay. e5? I'm not sure about e5. I guess it's not that bad a move. It just seems weird. Normally in this position you would get like d6 to try and bait me into taking the pawn. Yeah, that just doesn't... Well, d6, sometimes you'll see b5, banco. e5 is a bit strange. I could take on passant, and if they take with the d-pawn, or if it takes with the d-pawn, I could trade the queens and prevent black from castling. If it takes with the f-pawn, there's doubled pawns on the e-file, and the king is a bit more open, but I'm not sure it's worth getting rid of my control over the center, so I'm just going to play knight c3 with the goal to play e4. Okay, d6. Just to stop my pawn from pushing ever. Makes sense. I think I'll just play e4, like I said I was gonna, and close the center down completely. Okay, bishop e7, that makes sense, just aiming the castle. Okay. So I could play knight to f3 here, and I probably will, because I don't see any other move I particularly want to play. Yeah, just develop a knight, no reason not to. Okay, castles, that makes sense. Right, so there's a few moves here, but I think I'm probably just going to go with bishop e2. I could play bishop e3, but my bishop does no more there than it does where it is now. Bishop to d3 is also a move, but my pawn's already protected, and it's, again, not doing much on d3. If I play bishop e2, it at least means that if bishop to g4 gets played, my knight won't be pinned. So we'll go bishop e2. Okay, and now it's thinking. We'll see for how long it thinks. It's only on level 2, so it shouldn't take that long. There's a few moves it could play. I'm not entirely sure what it will. It could bring its bishop out to g4 anyways. It could play knight b to d7, trying to develop a knight. Knight to g4. Okay. I mean, this is kind of a bit of an instructional thing here. Knight g4 is just like, ooh, me, push my knight forward. Don't do this, guys. There's no reason to do this, because now I'm just going to play h3, and you have to either put it back where it was and you've wasted a move, or you have to put it here and look like a complete moron. So don't do that. It's just dumb. Always think what your opponent's going to play. If you put a piece forward, think, is it doing anything there? Is it any better than it was before? And is it just going to get kicked out immediately? And if not, find a different move. Think if all of those are checked as negative. Yeah, see? Knight back to f6, and guess what? Now we have the exact same position as we did before my knight, or before my pawn was on h3, except it's my move, and I have a pawn on h3 now. So that move did nothing but bad for black's position. I'll go ahead and castle. Yeah, this is just, that was bad. It's thinking, because, well, I'm surprised it didn't think for so long. I mean, it wasn't too many moves. Bishop to d7. Okay. What is the goal of bishop to d7? There isn't one. Bishop to d7 is, I mean, there's no other square for the bishop, sure, but then just don't move the bishop. Maybe try and bring the bishop out to a6 by playing b6. In this position as black, I probably would have played knight b to d7, trying to play knight b6. Although even then, there's a4 trying to kick the knight out if you play a5, great. Yeah, I mean, it's just not a pleasant position for black already. So now let's think, what would I play here? What am I going to play here? I mean, I could happily go for queen to b3, targeting the weakened pawn. It could be protected with the queen. It could be protected with the bishop going back, which would be really funny. And those are the only two pieces that can defend it. Or b6 could be played. And if b6 is played, honestly, we'll see. I don't think I'll go for queen b3. I might though. It doesn't really do that much. So you know what? I think in this position I'll just play bishop e3 and try to bring my rooks in, like get my queen out and connect my rooks. And also bishop e3 has some potential if a sacrifice is ever available on this square in the future to open up this pawn. So we'll go ahead and play bishop to e3. And now what will black play here? I'm not entirely sure. This position is just kind of ugly. Honestly, if I were playing black, I might play knight to, what is it? Knight to a6. Just to try and bring my rooks out, do something. Rook e8, okay. And it moves the rook to a different square. Again, it's not doing much because look at how many things are blocking this rook. Yeah, if I were playing as black there, I would have played knight to a6, trying to play knight to c2 and then maybe b5 because my bishop and knight would be aimed at it. Oh, but then there's also a bishop behind it, so that wouldn't work. Yeah, this is not pleasant. I think now I will play queen b3. Oh, I should probably input that first. Okay. Play queen b3, targeting the pawn. If we get b6, now I can start to bring my rooks over to the center of the board, and I might eventually try and find a way to sacrifice, probably on e4 to get my pawns pushing. Not yet, not anywhere near soon, because it's not really available yet. It doesn't work. There's too many things stopping the pawn. Yeah, b6. b6, of course, makes sense. Let's see, what am I gonna do here? I could try to play a4 and a5, just kind of sacking that pawn, but I think sacrificing that pawn would actually be okay. It might just be okay to open up my rook. Although, I say that, I think I should actually probably play queen to, queen to a3. Because if I play queen to a3, then it opens up b4. And I mean, I would love to have some kind of pawn break in this position. Yeah, so it's either... you know what? I might play a4 and then queen a3. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll play a4 first. Okay, knight a6. Fantastic. Yeah, and if I had played queen a3 immediately, we would have prevented that. But I'm fine with it. It's not really that big a deal. It is threatening. Yeah, it is threatening to play knight to b4 now, which is a slightly annoying move. Although I could play kind of a prophylactic move to negate knight to b4, which is bishop back to e2, with the idea to play knight to b5, although moving that knight hangs my e pawn. You know what I might do? Yeah, so I'm going to play knight to d2. I'll explain. Knight to d2 protects this pawn with the knight. And now if knight b4 is played, all of a sudden I can play knight to a2 and go for that knight trade. So it kind of makes knight b4 less problematic. Yeah, and see, there it is, knight b4. That makes sense, and I mean, I suppose I'll just go with the plan that I came up with, knight to a2. Fantastic. And we'll see what it does about that. If it takes, I might actually take with the rook. Yeah, I'll take with the rook so that I can, I could take with the queen. Yeah, no, I'll take with the queen. I will take with the queen. I was expecting it to maybe go back, but I think, yeah. So we'll take with the queen. Yeah, and I think right now I'm just trying to push the a pawn again. Yeah, I think I am just better here. Queen to c8. Ew. Does it want a sack? Does the sack work? Bishop takes. Pawn takes. No, the sack doesn't work. It doesn't have any actual real threats. Right? I mean, I don't think it does. Okay. So say we're black to move here. If bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, he's not threatening this, or queen check there. He's not threatening to put the knight there or the queen there because there's a bishop. It's not scary at all. So I don't have to do anything to even try and address that. Yeah, I'll just play a5 like I wanted to. You know? Okay. I was kind of expecting bishop to d8, rook e8. I don't think rook e8 is a good move at all. Like at all. Okay. So a takes b6, a takes b6. I could take the rook and just trade stuff off, but then he gets the open file, so I might just play queen b3 instead. And go after the pawn, and probably end up having the open file to myself. Yeah. We'll go ahead and take. Yeah. So after a takes b6 here, I'm going to play queen b3. Just so that I don't give up any potential control of the open file and I can go target the pawn. Yeah, precisely. Takes. Just make sure there aren't any better moves. Because I mean, it's either that or queen to b1 or trade. I could trade, but I don't like that his rook gets in if I do that. Yeah, queen b3. Yep, queen b3. If we get queen to c2 here to defend the pawn, then I'll probably play queen to c3. So that I still have the idea of playing b4 like I wanted to earlier. And I mean, earlier, I still want to play b4. And if we get rook to b8 here, I mean, I'm all fine and dandy with that because, you know, now I have the open file and I'll play queen to c3 anyway. I mean, if he trades, obviously I take. If we get rook to a3, it's kind of an interesting move. Rook a3. Rook a3 is interesting. Also, I apologize for saying a3, I meant a6. Rook a3 is not interesting. It's interesting, the thought process that would have to go into rook a3. No, rook a6 was an interesting move. Anyways, obviously I just take. I was expecting it to take, but that's a lot less hard to calculate, so I was looking at the other stuff. Right, and now I have the open file, and I'm still aiming at the pawn. I'm still aiming to play queen c3 and b4. Yep, queen c7. That's what I thought it was going to be. I think I said queen c2 earlier as well. I'm sorry about my notation. My notation is garbage. But, yeah, queen c7. That makes sense. So, queen c7, I might play queen c3. I also might play queen a3. think. Yeah, let's go for Queen A3. And I'm not saying Queen A3 is looking better as in this one's bad. Queen A3 just puts my queen on the open file, and maybe, if for some reason I want to, I can go to trade the queens. But here, my queen does less than it does on A3. Just in case somehow B4 is prevented, which I don't know how it would be. Like I don't see a way for B4 to be prevented. What? Oh, Rxa8. Fucking idiot. Sorry. Rxa8 does nothing. Rxa8 is a really bad move. Although I'm not sure what I would play there as black. That does absolutely nothing. B4. Just trying to break open the positionism. And if takes and queen takes, then I have a bishop lined up there. Very happy here. I'm very happy with the position. Of course. Queen takes. Fantastic. All right, notice material's equal, but I am positive that I'm better here. Let's see, rook to B8 might be played to protect the pawn. Or bishop to D8. Oh, so I meant rook B8. Okay, it would have been better, or not better, it would have been interesting if it played bishop to D8, because that actually would have given a purpose to rook to E8. But actually, it doesn't make sense at all, because then I can bring my rook up to B3 and there's no way to defend it because your rook can't come over anymore. Which means, since you have to play this anyway, rook to D8 was a waste of, or rook E8 was a waste of a move, just like I said. I could play rook to A6 and then bishop D8. But better I believe is to play rook to B1. Rook to B1, bishop to bishop to D8. And I'm questioning if I can play C5. And I believe that I can. Right, so rook to B1. If we get bishop to D8, C5. Can't take with the B pawn for obvious reasons, so E takes, bishop takes. Pawn takes, I take. Queen takes, I take, take, take. Okay, yeah, I can play C5. If bishop D8 is played to try and protect the pawn. Yes, and there it is, of course. C5. Fantastic. And now, I don't know if my plan here is to take this pawn, or if it's to push, or take this one. Oh, well, now it's just to take a pawn. Alright, bishop takes. Okay, fantastic. And now if pawn takes, I take. And that's an easy win. Actually, a very, very easy win. And if queen takes, I take. Oh, and we get the same shit. I don't think he could actually take it. That's really funny. Yeah, I think if the computer takes it, it loses immediately. If it takes it either way. Yes, it does. It loses so hard. Oh, and for reference on why I'm saying they just lose immediately, say queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and I'm going to get this bishop too, spin to the king, and nothing can protect it. If pawn takes, queen takes rook, queen takes is the same thing. That's funny. It just short-circuited and decided, fine, I'm going to throw away all of my pieces. That's really funny. That's really funny. Because the great thing is, if it takes it now, it has the exact same problem. That move fixed nothing. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the computer manually resigning. It's giving up. Yeah, obviously this is game over now. But this thing doesn't resign. Well, it normally resigns the move before checkmate, like any average asshole or grandmaster. That's a funny thing. Resigning like a move before, or a few moves before checkmate, knowing that it's checkmate if you're a grandmaster is completely normal. But if somebody does it to me online, like over the board, fine. If somebody does that to me online and they don't let me get the checkmate, I get unreasonably upset. It's like, hey man, just let me checkmate you. It's not like a play till checkmate even though you're dead lost type thing. It's already checkmate, just let it happen. Let me have some fun. But no, it's just personal rant. Well, we'll see how long it takes for this thing to think of a move, because at the moment I can't think of a move for black. Actually, I know exactly what I would play as black here. You know what I would play? I would take my mouse, scroll it over to the resign button, if I was playing online, click it, click confirm, I want to resign, and then chuck my mouse across the room and cry. That's what I would do in this position. Bishop F5. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's definitely just admitted defeat at this point. Not a bad move. Not a bad move at all. It's probably the only okay move in the position. Yeah. Yeah, and now probably queen to, what is it? I can't do notation. I really can't do notation right now. Queen B7, sorry. Queen to B7, do I take the rook there or do I move mine? That's the question, right? That is the question, you know? Yeah, queen b7. And now I could just trade the rooks, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I could also play here, so that after... maybe I will just trade. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Yeah, I will actually. You know what? I will. Because after bishop takes rook, I can take here, and this pawn doesn't hang anymore because they need to save their bishop. So they move the bishop out of the way, and then I can defend this pawn. Yes. Okay, I do trade. Fantastic. Bishop is where? Is there? Yeah. So now we're gonna get bishop takes b1 and bishop takes e5. And this is gonna be an easy game. Just playing up a piece and pawn, I think. right? What? Oh, so not a piece in pawn. I would have been just up a piece, not a pawn. What? Now I'm just up a full rook instead. Yeah, this thing really doesn't like losing positions. Okay, I mean, to be fair, people don't either, but this thing's really bad at that. Okay, so which open file do I want to put my rook on? There's justifications for both. Justification for putting it on the C file is to try and bring it here. And the justification for putting it on the A file is so that if the queen ever moves, this the A8 the A8 square is actually open, whereas the C8 square is covered by a bishop. And I believe I am going to go with A8. Yeah. A1, sorry. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move it to A1. Yeah, it's taking an especially long time to think now that it's dead lost. That's something interesting. People do that too, right? Where they'll start thinking when they're losing. When in reality, they probably should have thought before they started losing. It's something a lot of people need to work on with their time management. Is, yeah, manage your time well, but also manage it in the right places. Don't. Okay. Bishop to C7. Makes sense, I guess. Kind of. The queen covers the whole back rank now, at the very least. But now... Yeah, I'm not sure I like that move. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do about it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and play knight to C4. Okay. Knight C4, and I'm not really targeting the pawn, it's defended twice. More so, I want to push the d-pawn. That's my goal. Because if I can push the d-pawn, say it was my move in this position, if I could push the d-pawn, bishop goes back to d8, and now I have a free pawn here. On e5. That would be great. Okay, well, thanks. Don't let me do that. Rude. No, I mean, I push anyway. There's no real question there. Yeah, there's no real question. I push the pawn anyway, and that pawn is defended by my queen. The only bishop that would be able to attack it is about to be on the back rank again, and I'm probably going to play rook to, or not rook, knight to e3. Yep. Okay. I might play knight to f3. Or e3. That's one move I'm considering. I'm also considering playing rook to a6. I am majorly considering that. I could also play queen to queen to b5 and hit the bishop. I'm a bit iffy on that. I could play knight to e5. I could play knight to e5. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So if I play knight e5, bishop here to pin it to the rook doesn't really work because then I have knight to c6. And knight to c6 is problematic at the very least. Yes. So we're going to play knight e5, knight c6 if we can. Let's see, what's the length of this video so far? Huh? Well, it looks like this video is gonna be just as long, if not longer, than the other one. Damn. I also did do less talking in the other one, which might be the reason. Yep. Yeah. I think it's just because I talked significantly less than the last one. Qc8. Okay. Just the move I was expecting. Though I was kind of hoping for queen to e8, because I would have played bishop to b5, and if he takes, check, and I win, but... That being said, my rook is also still not hanging, because I still have that the threat of that knight move. Funnily enough. Yeah, so that rook is still absolutely not hanging. So I can play queen to c4, or yeah, queen to c4. Threatening the check and winning the... Oh, but the queen's protected. Oh, but hold on. That still does work. Wow. Just wow. Yeah. So, all right, queen to c6. Taking the rook is a blunder. It loses the queen. So, queen to c6, or c4, sorry. After queen to c4, say h3, or h6, knight check, bishop takes, queen takes queen, bishop takes, take here, to try and stop you from promoting, here, with the bishop, rook check, and I get to promote anyway. What a sequence. Queen to c4. If that's the way this game goes, I am going to be so happy. Like, so happy. If it takes my rook, I'm gonna be pissed off because that's boring. But yeah, the hope here is h6. Boring. Push a pawn. Wait, I maintain that threat. I still have that shit. Knight f7 check. At minimum, I win a piece here. And if he takes my knight, I win more. There's not a lot of legal moves, dude. There's 3. Come on, computer. There's 3 legal moves. And all of them end poorly. Just make one of them. What are you thinking about, bro? Make a move. There's 3. It doesn't normally take this long to think on level 2. Yeah, this video is going to be just as long as the last one. Although this video is going to be a bit more entertaining than the last one, I'd hope, because in the last one I barely spoke at all, which was another reason I didn't post it. Okay, see, King f8, take, beautiful, rook a8, okay, easy game. That's what this is. An easy game. Yeah, this is But I think, yeah, I think that needs to be played. Okay, it did it anyway, which means this video is going to be a bit shorter than the last one. Because after I take, yeah, it's mate in 2. Check. It's mate on the next move after bishop blocks and rook takes. Okay, and it's not resigning. Mate, good game. Yes, you do, buddy. You lose. Fun game that was. All right. Well, I'll again leave the links to an analysis on both chess.com and Lichess for this game if you want to look at it for yourself. Hopefully, this video has been at least semi-entertaining. Hopefully you find this computer interesting. Hopefully you find the game interesting, and who knows, maybe it was semi-helpful for learning something about chess. With all that being said, I think this video is over, and I will see you guys in the next one.